Exclusive contract novel of Feilu Fiction Network. Xiang Ai. I win thoroughly when I was persuaded. Su Haiyang traveled to the world of rural love movies and became a famous village wanderer in Xiangya Mountain, while also awakening the listening and persuasion system. As long as you listen to others' advice, you can receive rewards. At this moment, the rural love story has just begun. Xie Guangkun. I just asked Su Haiyang to help figure out a way to separate Yongqiang and Wang Xiaomeng, but he directly married Wang Xiaomeng back home. Wang Changgui. I suggested that Su Haiyang, a lazy village wanderer, take over the rare barren mountains in the village. As a result, he planted an orchard on the barren mountains and even built a hot spring villa. Zhao Si. Yutian always thinks about raising flowers and building a flower garden. I deliberately told Su Haiyang that raising flowers has great prospects and asked him to buy a flower garden to pay Yutian for it. As a result, he became the king of flower cultivation. Liu Neng. Xie Guangkun wants to compete with me for the position of village chief. I went to persuade Su Haiyang to let him deal with Xie Guangkun, but he just became the village chief. Liu Ying. I want to give the ocean brother monkey. Wang Xiangxiu, Li Qiuge, Su Hongyu. All the girls shouted in unison. To give birth to a monkey, one must queue up. Watching the days cross the increasingly prosperous Su Haiyang, everyone in the village cried with envy. Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. Chapter 1. If the peak cannot be retained, then walk again. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Oh, oh. Oh, oh. Wang Wang. Wang Wang. With a burst of crowing and barking, Su Haiyang impatiently opened his eyes. Who is this so lacking in public morality? On Sunday morning, it was so chaotic that people couldn't even sleep in. Not right. Where do roosters crow in this modern international metropolis? Su Haiyang's slightly confused mind suddenly became clear. The impatient expression just now instantly turned into shock. What kind of ghost is the dilapidated adobe house in front of me? What about your luxurious and high-end flat floor? Before Su Haiyang could start scolding his father, his brain suddenly began to ache violently. After about 10 minutes, Su Haiyang calmed down. I saw him lying on the broken Kong with lifeless eyes, his face full of lovelessness. His mother, after struggling for more than 10 years, I finally got out of my own way and was beaten back to my original shape before I began to enjoy life. Because of his promotion and salary increase, he bought a new house. As soon as he was happy, he drank a few more glasses, but when he woke up, everything in the past became a dream and a bubble. Now he has become an unknown figure in the world of rural love movies and TV shows. Without a father or mother, without relatives or connections, poor and useless, still a village wanderer who dislikes everyone. The only fortunate thing is that I am only 20 years old now. No beer belly, no fatty liver, no baldness. It seems that it's not bad either. Su Haiyang's heavy mood finally gave a hint of comfort. If the peak cannot be retained, then go back on the same path as before. Isn't it just starting from scratch? Who is afraid of who? Just as he made up his mind, Su Haiyang took a deep breath and jumped up from the Kong. As a result, my hands and feet softened and I fell back onto the Kong. At the same time, there was a ding in Su Haiyang's mind. Detected that the host meets the system binding conditions. Now it is the host matching system. System matching successful. Congratulations to the host for activating the listening system. A series of prompt sounds left Su Haiyang stunned. Fortunately, he had read many travel novels before and quickly realized it. Have you not only traveled, but also obtained the essential golden finger for travelers? It seems that the heavens are not teasing me. The previous second was still cursing at the thief, but this second Su Haiyang feels that the heavens are his own father. According to the system prompts, Su Haiyang quickly figured out the rules of the listening system. As long as you listen to others' advice and persuasion, you can receive rewards. Listen to people's advice, have a full meal. Su Haiyang deeply thought so. Starting from today, I have taken this old saying as my life purpose. Pack up your mood. Su Haiyang finally has time to take a look at his new home. He thinks it's very appropriate to use the term "a family with nothing left" to describe it. There is not even a table or cabinet in the room except for the sleeping earthen Kong. The only window is also leaking. Roof. With the visual acuity of Su Haiyang 5.0, you can easily see the tiny holes on top. Fortunately, it's summer now and it's not raining. Su Haiyang once again felt fortunate in his heart. Goo at this moment, Su Haiyang's stomach began to scream. After searching for the original owner's memory, Su Haiyang smiled bitterly. It has been 2 days since the last meal. It seems that the original owner was undoubtedly starving to death. No wonder I didn't have the energy to wake up just now. Su Haiyang believes that the top priority is to fill his stomach first. Otherwise, if I accidentally get hungry again, it will really become a joke. Knowing that the house was so clean that there were not even a single mouse, Su Haiyang didn't waste his energy searching for food. But instead of getting up, I went to the yard to fetch a bowl of well water and drank it to my heart's content. Su Haiyang finally regained some energy and slowly walked out the door. He decided to go to Xie Dajiao's place at the village entrance to borrow some food on credit, as he was penniless. After walking and stopping, Su Haiyang finally arrived at the Dajiao grocery store. The entrance of the Big Foot grocery store is as lively as ever. However, as soon as everyone saw Su Haiyang's figure, they instinctively turned their heads and pretended not to see him. Su Haiyang ignored the disdainful gaze of the villagers and calmly walked into the grocery store. Anyway, it's normal for the village to be sneaky and have a thicker skin. Anti-Bigfoot. As soon as Su Haiyang entered the shop, he saw the charming Xie Dajiao, who was organizing the goods on the shelves. Upon hearing the sound, Xie Dajiao turned around and saw that it was Su Haiyang. He instinctively said, "Why are you here again?" Cough. Su Haiyang is embarrassed. This is an unpopular rhythm. Speak up. What do you want to credit today? Xie Dajiao looked at him angrily and continued, "We agreed beforehand, tobacco and alcohol. 2 pounds of noodles. 1 pound of eggs." Before Xie Dajiao could finish speaking, Su Haiyang immediately replied. "Old rules, you understand." Xie Dajiao didn't feel too difficult for Su Haiyang. She waved her hand and gestured for him to go to the small blackboard to keep an account, while she turned around to get what Su Haiyang wanted. "Ocean, it's been several months since you cleared your accounts. I won't agree to credit things again next time. Don't blame Aunt Bigfoot for being ruthless then. Auntie also wants to make money, but she can't." Su Haiyang listened to Xie Dajiao's chatter while looking at the small blackboard hanging on the wall. Su Haiyang has already memorized a lot of things after his name, with cigarettes and alcohol appearing the most frequently, followed by some food and even toilet paper. Hey! The village wanderer really lives up to its reputation. I'm so poor that I can't even afford paper, and I smoke and drink. Su Haiyang, while roast about the original owner in his heart, helplessly picked up the chalk. At the same time, he secretly swore that this was the last time he would be on credit in his life. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 2. Xie Guangkun's suggestion, just in time. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Anti-Bigfoot, there's not enough space left. How about? Just give me a number and I'll write it down. As it was written, Su Haiyang threw away the chalk and suggested to Xie Dajiao. That's not possible. If you don't write it clearly, what if you don't admit it? Xie put the things on the counter and walked over to take a look. He said, "Tsk. I can't write it down anymore. How much credit have you been giving me these past few months? Hey. Forget it, for the last time today, just add 8 yuan. Okay." Su Haiyang nodded and picked up the chalk again. Big feet. What are you busy with? At this moment, someone came up to Xie and looked at Su Haiyang's bookkeeping. They couldn't help but complain. "Su Haiyang, are you on credit again?" Su Haiyang glanced at the newcomer but ignored them. "Big foot, you're just too kind-hearted. Su Haiyang came to you to borrow money from the sky, and you're not afraid he won't pay back the money. I'm telling you, there's no young person in this village who can match my family's Yongqiang. Who is Yongqiang in my family? He's a college student in our village, even Mayor Qi himself." Seeing that Su Haiyang ignored him, the newcomer was not angry, but instead proudly brought the topic to his precious son. Xie probably heard his words on the wheels, which made his ears prickle. He interrupted him impatiently and said, "Guangkun, are you free today? What's so idle?" "I'm busy. I've been collecting mountain goods every day during this time." "So what are you talking about here?" Xie is most annoyed when Xie Guangkun talks about his precious son all day, so he said angrily. "Oh. Get me a pack of cigarettes. The most expensive one." Xie Guangkun also realized that he came to buy cigarettes. "Ocean, do you want one?" Xie Guangkun bought a cigarette, but when he saw that Su Haiyang had not left yet, he deliberately said to him. If it had been before, Su Haiyang would have shamelessly approached Xie Guangkun upon hearing these words. "No. I quit smoking." Su Haiyang shook his head. "You quit smoking? I'm afraid you can't afford to smoke, right?" Xie Guangkun glanced at the long string of records on the blackboard and smiled with a malicious smile. Su Haiyang was too lazy to talk to Xie Guangkun, so he took the noodles and eggs and left directly. "Oh my, Ocean. Don't even say uncle doesn't take care of you, I have a job here that pays quickly. Are you interested?" Not far from the Big Foot grocery store, Xie Guangkun caught up with Su Haiyang panting and threw bait at him. "What kind of work?" Upon hearing this, Su Haiyang raised his eyebrows. "Have you heard of Lingji? That thing is really valuable. I recently heard that there are wild Ganoderma lucidum on the mountain near our village. Why don't we go up the mountain together to find it? Whoever finds it belongs to them, how about that?" Xie Guangkun whispered. He didn't lie this time. Wild Ganoderma lucidum is indeed valuable, but it's also difficult to find. At least you have to go deep into the mountains and forests to have a chance of finding it. Xie Guangkun dared not venture into the deep mountains alone, so he approached Su Haiyang, who was idle. He calculated very well. If there is any danger at that time, let this foolish boy help resist 1 or 2. As for Lingji, I casually fooled myself by saying that even if Su Haiyang found Lingji, he would still make a wedding dress for himself. Ding! Received Xie Guangkun's suggestion to go up the mountain and find Lingji. Rewards. Stamina +5, luck +2, okay. I'll go after breakfast later. Su Haiyang blinked and agreed in one gulp. Although I don't know what the use of stamina and luck is, Su Haiyang believes that the system shouldn't be fooling him. So without hesitation, he agreed to Xie Guangkun's suggestion. What's for breakfast? Let's go now. Xie Guangkun saw that Su Haiyang had agreed so decisively, and he was also worried that Su Haiyang would leak the news of Lingji, so he decided to go up the mountain immediately. I haven't eaten anything for 2 days now, so I'm afraid I don't have the strength to climb the mountain. Well. Come to my house to eat, your aunt probably has already baked the cake. Xie Guangkun gritted his teeth and pulled Su Haiyang back to his home. Watching Su Haiyang eat 5 cakes and drink 2 bowls of rice porridge at a time, Xie Guangkun rolled his eyes in pain. I hope there will be some gains from going up the mountain today. Otherwise, we'll lose a lot. People say that Ganoderma lucidum usually grows in places with abundant sunlight. In the deep mountains, Xie Guangkun wiped the sweat off his forehead, looked around, pointed in the direction of the high sun, and taught Su Haiyang science. I'm not buying it. Su Haiyang let out a deep sigh in his heart. Most wild Ganoderma lucidum are sensitive to light, not resistant to strong light, and feed on humus, preferring humid environments. This terrible old man actually lied to himself that Lingji likes to bask in the sun. Make it clear that you don't want to find Lingji. Oh my, I have a stomachache. Let's go and make it convenient for you. You can just look around. Once you find it, it's yours. Xie Guangkun's lie, which he was unaware of, had already been seen through by Su Haiyang. His eyes rolled and he covered his stomach, finding an excuse to sneak into the nearby forest. Based on his years of experience, the chances of finding Ganoderma lucidum in this seemingly dark and damp forest are much greater. Seeing this, Su Haiyang pouted and didn't say a word, heading towards the other side of the forest. About 10 minutes have passed. Congratulations to the host. Following Xie Guangkun's advice, we successfully found 3 wild Ganoderma lucidum flowers on the mountain. The reward is +5 stamina and +2 luck. Please receive the reward in a timely manner. Su Haiyang looked with surprise at the 3 umbrella-shaped purple Ganoderma on the tree stump. Before he could even pick it up, a system prompt sound came to his mind. So this is wild Ganoderma lucidum. While sighing, Su Haiyang carefully picked off 3 Lingji mushrooms. This is my first bucket of gold. After collecting the Lingji mushrooms, Su Haiyang began to receive system rewards. He directly chose to receive the reward. Soon, Su Haiyang felt a warm sensation slowly pouring into his body from the soles of his feet. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 3. The Sad and Urgent Xie Guangkun. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Oh, hello. I almost fell to death. Just as Su Haiyang finished receiving the reward, Xie Guangkun's screams came from not far away. Uncle Guangkun, are you here? Su Haiyang followed the screams through the forest and curiously asked as he looked at Xie Guangkun sitting on the ground with a painful expression on his face. I accidentally fell and poked my butt with a wooden stake. It hurt so much. Xie Guangkun rubbed his buttocks and struggled to stand up. Can we still leave? Su Haiyang looked at his appearance and pressed down the corners of his mouth desperately, afraid that he might accidentally laugh out loud. Rub it a few times, it's okay. Xie Guangkun waved his hand and said, what bad luck. I've been wandering around for a while, but I haven't found anything. I even fell down. Upon hearing this, Su Haiyang remained silent. By the way, have you gained anything? Speaking, Xie Guangkun looked at the basket carried by Su Haiyang. Hiss. Looking at a glossy purple Ganoderma in Su Haiyang's backpack, Xie Guangkun took a deep breath of air. Where did you find it? That's where you told me. Su Haiyang smiled and pointed in the direction as he walked back and forth. It's impossible, the sun is so bright over there. Xie Guangkun instinctively shook his head. The next second, he ignored the severe pain in his buttocks and hurriedly headed towards Su Haiyang's finger. He needs to go over and search carefully, maybe he can find Lingji again. Uncle Guangkun, take your time searching, I'll take a break. Seeing this, Su Haiyang smiled and found a cool place to lie down. Take the worst-looking Lingji mushroom in the basket and exchange it for money. 2 more will be stored in the system space for future use. In short, with 3 top-quality wild Lingji mushrooms, at least you don't have to go hungry anymore. Xie Guangkun searched several times in the surrounding woods. But I couldn't even find a wild mushroom. Seeing that it was getting late, he finally gave up. I can only walk down the mountain with Su Haiyang dejected. Ouch! As he approached the foot of the mountain, Xie Guangkun's screams rang out again. Su Haiyang was humming a song when he was startled by his screams and instinctively turned around to look. Which bastard actually set up a beast trap on this mountain? My feet. Xie Guangkun grinned in pain. Su Haiyang looked surprised. I just walked past here, why didn't I get caught? Inexplicably, Su Haiyang thought of the system rewards he had previously received. It seems that my luck has increased by 2 points, and my luck has improved a lot. Ocean, quickly help uncle break open the animal trap. Without waiting for Su Haiyang to ponder more, Xie Guangkun hugged Su Haiyang's thigh and begged. Su Haiyang squatted down, grabbed both sides of the animal trap with both hands, and effortlessly broke open the trap. It hurts me so much, my leg won't be limping anymore, will it? Xie Guangkun kept shouting in his ear, but Su Haiyang clenched his fist. Even though I had no strength to bind a chicken in the morning, now I can easily break open the animal trap. The system really didn't trick me. Su Haiyang smiled with satisfaction. Ocean, uncle, I'm afraid I can't walk anymore. Could you please carry me back? Xie Guangkun howled for a while, but didn't see any sign from Su Haiyang. He could only speak up voluntarily. Uncle Guangkun, I don't have much strength on me. If I accidentally fall you again, it wouldn't be good. Why don't I go back to the village and find someone to carry you? Su Haiyang kindly suggested. No, it's almost dark this day, and there's no one on the mountain. My foot is injured again. What if the smell of blood attracts wild beasts? Xie Guangkun shook his head in a panic and tightly hugged Su Haiyang's thigh again, afraid that he would leave him behind. Uncle, you also know that I usually go hungry and eat well, I really can't carry you on my back. Su Haiyang looked puzzled as he looked at Xie Guangkun with a helpless expression. Uncle, I'll give you 50 yuan and buy some meat to supplement your health when you go back. 50 yuan. I'm afraid it's not enough to buy a chicken. 100 yuan. Xie Guangkun gritted his teeth and gnashed his teeth. He knew that Su Haiyang couldn't get up early without any benefits. Today is considered a big loss. Oh, Uncle Guangkun, what's our relationship? Talking about money would hurt our feelings too much. Don't worry, I will definitely send you home safely. Su Haiyang chuckled and then extended his right hand to Xie Guangkun. Xie Guangkun suppressed the urge to curse, released Su Haiyang's thigh, and placed his hand on Su Haiyang's right hand, wanting to stand up with Su Haiyang's strength. Pop! Unexpectedly, Su Haiyang directly slapped off Xie Guangkun's hand. Xie Guangkun, Uncle Guangkun, this. Su Haiyang rubbed 3 fingers and gestured. You're ruthless. Watching Su Haiyang's movements, Xie Guangkun finally understood that this guy didn't scatter eagles until he saw rabbits. He asked himself to pay first. Exhaling, Xie Guangkun took out his long-saved private money from his pocket and handed it to Su Haiyang with his eyes closed. My heart hurts too much. If I had known earlier, I wouldn't have recommended this guy to go up the mountain with me to find Lingji. Now not only has Lingji not been found, but I have also been injured and lost 100 yuan. And Su Haiyang not only found Lingji, but also tricked himself for 100 yuan. The more I think about it, the more angry I become. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 4. Eating Wang Xiaomeng Tofu. New book seeking support. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Su Haiyang supported Xie Guangkun, who was about to faint from the pain, and finally emerged from the mountain as the sun set. Ah! Guangkun, what's wrong with this? Liu Neng was herding cattle at the foot of the mountain when he saw Xie Guangkun's dying appearance and curiously approached him. Caught in a beast trap. Su Haiyang replied, glancing at the fat and sturdy cattle of the Liu family, and had an idea. Uncle Liu, Uncle Guangkun can't walk any longer. Can I borrow your cow to take him back? Upon hearing this, Liu Neng immediately shook his head and retreated, saying, You. Uncle Guangkun, this. Such a large grid, don't crush. Crush my cow. Oh my, everyone is from the same village. Uncle Liu is also not good at not saving his life, is he? I can't wait until I go to the Xie family. Let Aunt Xie give you some hard work as compensation, and your family won't suffer any losses. Su Haiyang saw through Liu Neng's careful thinking at a glance and said with a smile. Well. Guangkun doesn't look very good, so I'll reluctantly use a cow to take him back. Liu Neng's eyes twitched as he felt that a trip was not a loss. He and Su Haiyang hit it off and together, they put Xie Guangkun on the back of a cow. So, Liu Neng led the cow and Xie Guangkun to the Xie family. But Su Haiyang clapped his hands and happily returned home. After a tiring day, the first thing he did when he went back was to cook himself a large bowl of egg noodles. After eating and drinking enough, I poured 2 buckets of well water into the courtyard and took a cold shower. Then he went back to the house and closed the door to sleep. Good night's sleep. Another day awakened by the barking of chickens and dogs. Su Haiyang, who ate well and slept well, appeared particularly energetic today. After washing up, he was too lazy to cook breakfast and went out directly with Lingji. On the way, I happened to meet Wang Xiaomeng, who was selling tofu in the village. Xiaomeng, do you still have condensed bean curd jelly? Give me a bowl. Su Haiyang looked at Wang Xiaomeng, who was full of youthful energy, and walked over with his hands in his pockets. Ocean brother, didn't you have breakfast again? Wang Xiaomeng saw Su Haiyang, put down the burden on his shoulders, frowned, and said. This guy feels like he can smell it, and every time he walks from here, he can touch him. Unfortunately, I can't ignore him yet. If you don't pay attention to him, this person can follow you shamelessly for a whole day. Hey! I don't want you. Have you got condensed bean curd jelly? I'm waiting for you. Su Haiyang walked up to Wang Xiaomeng with a smile on his face and said with a smooth tongue. The last bowl. You drink it. Wang Xiaomeng had no choice but to take out a bowl of hot tofu pudding from the frame. Little Meng still feels sorry for people. Su Haiyang was also polite, picked up the bowl and started drinking on the spot. Wang Xiaomeng remained silent and stood quietly on the side, waiting for him to finish his drink and collect the bowl. It doesn't matter whether the money is received or not, we can't lose another bowl. Xiaomeng, your tofu is the most delicious tofu I have ever tasted. Why not consider expanding the scale? Su Haiyang was drinking tofu pudding when he suddenly opened his mouth to Wang Xiaomeng. Ocean brother, probably you've only eaten my tofu before. How do you know that my tofu is the best? Wang Xiaomeng felt a bit amused. Can Su Haiyang, a lazy village wanderer, still think of expanding the scale of the tofu workshop? It's really rare. Hee, I have only tasted your tofu before. Your tofu, but I can also taste good or bad. If there is an opportunity to develop, one can definitely make money. Can you tell me how my tofu shop can expand its scale? Upon hearing this, Wang Xiaomeng pretended to be very interested and asked. She is an idealistic girl who has long wanted to expand her own tofu shop. Unfortunately, there is no one around to support her. Even his boyfriend Xie Yongqiang, whom he secretly dated for 2 years, feels that making tofu has no future. I didn't expect Su Haiyang, who usually looks out of place, to have such insight. This inevitably made Wang Xiaomeng's impression of Su Haiyang slightly better, so confusing. It's simple. First, think of a way to increase the production of your tofu workshop, and then find a stable partner. Su Haiyang finished the rest of the tofu pudding in one gulp, stuffed the empty bowl back to Wang Xiaomeng, then left with a word and waved away. Wang Xiaomeng, if you're still willing to talk to that kid Su Haiyang, don't let him lead you astray. That's right, he doesn't do any serious business wandering around all day. Don't listen to him talk nonsense. If there is really a way to make money, can he not do it himself? Many villagers nearby noticed that Wang Xiaomeng had been fooled by Su Haiyang with a bowl of tofu pudding, so they couldn't help reminding her. Wang Xiaomeng regained his senses, smiled at the people around him, and left with a burden on his shoulders. But Su Haiyang's words kept echoing in her mind. Increase production. Yes, if we want to expand our scale, isn't the primary issue to consider finding ways to increase production? But our own tofu is all handmade, how can we increase production? Do you need more manpower? Or buy a machine back? Where can I find stable partners? I don't have any connections in this area myself. It seems that expanding the scale of the tofu workshop is not that easy. Su Haiyang didn't know that his casual words almost made Wang Xiaomeng want to break his head. At this moment, he was walking slowly towards the Xie family. Yesterday when Xie Guangkun went up the mountain, he said that if he found Lingji himself, he could recycle it at a high price. I don't know if this statement is reliable. Su Haiyang plans to come and ask. Achieve success, make plans for failure. P.S. New book set sale. I don't know if everyone likes the beginning of Rural Love, but if you like it, use your golden finger to give this book some data support. A flower, a review ticket, a comment, any reward. New books are not easy, we need a lot of data support. Kneel down and thank you. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 5. What morality can a village wanderer have? You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Xiangxiu, isn't there any major problem with uncle's feet? Xie family, Xie Guangkun is sitting on the Kong, and a dark girl wearing a white coat is carefully changing Xie Guangkun's dressing. Uncle, there's no big problem. Don't let the wound get wet, just rest for 2 days. That's not possible. Xiangxiu, I think I need to rest in bed for at least a week for this wound. Uncle, that's not necessary. It's not that serious. You saved your foot in time, it's just a skin injury. What's timely? It's all because of that kid Su Haiyang. If it weren't for taking him up the mountain, could my feet be like this? Xiangxiu, just listen to me. If someone asks about my foot injury later, you can say it's more serious and say. Maybe I'll be disabled. How can this work? Didn't you make me lie and deceive people? Wang Xiangxiu stood up and packed her medicine box. If it weren't for the face of college student Xie Yongqiang, she wouldn't be willing to come and replace Xie Guangkun's dressing. Now that Xie Guangkun still asks her to help deceive people, Wang Xiangxiu is even more unhappy. Don't worry, uncle didn't ask for your help in vain. When Yongqiang comes back, I'll ask him to thank you well. Xie Guangkun knows how to manipulate people's hearts and used his son Xie Yongqiang as bait. Sure enough, as soon as he spoke, Wang Xiangxiu's eyes flickered. If there is support from Xie Guangkun, maybe I can really get things done with Xie Yongqiang. Uncle. I think you need to wrap your feet tighter. I'll help you wrap more gauze. Uncle Guangkun. I'm here to see you. As soon as he arrived at Xie Guangkun's doorstep, Su Haiyang shouted loudly. Is it the ocean? Come in and sit down. Uncle Guangkun is changing his dressing. Xie Guangkun's wife, Xie Yongqiang, his mother, and Zhao Jinfeng heard a voice poking their heads out of the kitchen and greeted Su Haiyang outside the yard. Su Haiyang didn't hesitate and entered the room casually. At this moment, Wang Xiangxiu was walking out with a medical kit in hand. Oh. Black girl, what a coincidence. Su Haiyang grinned when he saw Wang Xiangxiu. Who's the black girl? Su Haiyang, are you itching? Wang Xiangxiu saw Su Haiyang's playful and smiling face and gritted her teeth, rushing over to punch him twice. Are you a girl from your own family who doesn't want face? Every time we meet, we call ourselves black girls. Woo woo, hee hee. I'm black, have I become black? Seeing the arrival of the powder fist, Su Haiyang immediately accepted it. Wang Xiangxiu didn't break in time and crashed directly into Su Haiyang's arms. Ah! Don't say, although this girl looks black, her figure is still decent. It's quite soft. Su Haiyang couldn't help but comment. Su Haiyang, you. Wang Xiangxiu reacted and pushed Su Haiyang away, stamping her feet in shame and anger. Cough. Xiangxiu, how is Uncle Guangkun's foot injured? Su Haiyang saw that Wang Xiangxiu couldn't come down, so he kindly spoke up and changed the topic for her. It's useless. Wang Xiangxiu looked at Su Haiyang with an innocent expression on her face, wanting to scold him for a few words. However, considering that this was at the Xie family and afraid of affecting her own innocence, she could only give Su Haiyang a fierce glare and hastily leaving behind 2 words. Disabled. Upon hearing this, Su Haiyang was momentarily stunned. Is the ocean here? Oh, hello. Coincidentally, Xie Guangkun's voice came from the room. Su Haiyang didn't think much and went straight into the room. The first thing I saw was Xie Guangkun's tightly wrapped feet. Uncle Guangkun, your feet look quite serious, don't you? Isn't that right? Just now, Xiangxiu said that she might become disabled. Xie Guangkun looked at Su Haiyang with a sorrowful expression on his face, but secretly felt proud in his heart. See how I handle you, kid. Oh my, if it weren't for taking you up the mountain, I wouldn't have ended up like this. Ocean, you must remember your Uncle Guangkun's kindness to you. You can't be that ungrateful person. Su Haiyang is this old guy giving himself a moral kidnapping. I don't even think about what kind of morality a village wanderer can have. Uncle Guangkun, what do you think this is? Too lazy to talk nonsense, Su Haiyang interrupted Xie Guangkun's words and took out the purple lingji. Lingji. Xie Guangkun's eyes lit up, and the sadness on his face swept away, making him excited. That's right. This is the lingji found on the mountain yesterday. Can you give me a quote? Su Haiyang didn't hesitate and said directly. Uncle Guangkun, don't say I don't know how to repay kindness. I could have sold this lingji in town myself, but now I'll bring it to you. Don't deceive me. Don't worry, Ocean, your Uncle Guangkun is the most practical. At this moment, Xie Guangkun had taken countless turns in his heart, but his smile was particularly enthusiastic. He is certain that Su Haiyang is a village wanderer with little knowledge. How much is the best purple glossy Ganoderma worth? It's not up to you the final say. The lingji mushrooms in the town's herbal medicine store are usually 1 or 200 yuan per kilogram. Uncle doesn't deceive you, so he will recycle your lingji mushrooms at a rate of 200 yuan per kilogram. How about that? Xie Guangkun glanced at the lingji in Su Haiyang's hand, and it should weigh up to 2 pounds. Spend 400 yuan to collect it, sell it again, and even if you include yesterday's loss of 100 yuan, you can still earn 5 times the price difference. This is almost half a year of my usual income. It's so exciting to think about it. P.S. New book set sale, give free support to those who like it. A flower, a review ticket, a comment. Rich people can give rewards freely. There is data to support immediate updates. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 6. Su Haiyang, who doesn't play cards according to common sense. Thank you. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Uncle Guangkun is talking about the price of ordinary lingji, right? But didn't you say yesterday that my lingji is top quality purple lingji? Can it be sold for at least 3 to 2,000 yuan? Su Haiyang spoke with a puzzled expression on his face. Did I say that yesterday? Xie Guangkun's excited heart suddenly became restless. Yeah, after you pinched your foot, I helped you down the mountain. Your foot hurts too much. To distract your attention, you talked to me about the types and prices of Ganoderma lucidum. At that time, you confidently told me that the lingji in my hand was the finest purple lingji, and it cost at least 1,000 yuan per kilogram outside. You promised me that if I were willing to sell you lingji, you would definitely give me a high price and not let me suffer a loss. Uncle Guangkun probably doesn't know how to keep his word, does he? Su Haiyang looked at Xie Guangkun with a trusting expression on his face. Xie Guangkun felt depressed. He recalled for a long time, but had no memory at all. But Su Haiyang also said that he has a nose and eyes. He had never been exposed to lingji before, and if he hadn't let it slip, how could he have known so well? Is it true that I am in pain and confused, saying things I shouldn't have said? Thinking of this, Xie Guangkun wished he could give himself a slap in the ear. How can I tell the truth in front of Su Haiyang? What should we do now? Why don't you say you've taken a blind eye? Ocean, yesterday it must have been my feet hurting badly, my mind was confused, and I looked around. The lingji in your hand is just ordinary lingji, not some top quality purple lingji. Alright, uncle, I'll give you an extra 200 yuan. I'll take your lingji for 600 yuan. Xie Guangkun looked kind-hearted. Where can I make you suffer, uncle? Upon hearing this, Su Haiyang frowned and said simply, since it's not worth a few dollars, I'll just keep this lingji for myself to eat. It just happens to nourish my body. After speaking, Su Haiyang planned to leave. Xie Guangkun is not doing well as a whole. Is this kid planning to take the finest lingji back to replenish his body? What a waste. No way. Oh my, Ocean, your body is too weak. This lingji is a great tonic. You can't eat it casually, be careful not to supplement your weak body. Oh. Uncle Guangkun makes sense. Then I might as well take it to the town pharmacy to sell, so you don't have to lose money and take it back. You. Wait a moment. Let me take a look at your lingji again. How does it feel? Like it really looks a bit like purple lingji. Seeing that Su Haiyang was really about to leave, Xie Guangkun became anxious and had to ask for a step down for himself. Even if you don't make money, you still have to take this purple lingji. You should know that there are quite a few mountain vendors in the 10-mile 8 villages nearby, and the competition in my career is also very high. If you have the finest purple lingji in your hands, you will definitely become one of the top mountain vendors in this area. Uncle Guangkun, can you take a closer look? Su Haiyang smiled and handed lingji to Xie Guangkun. Xie Guangkun carefully took over Zai and studied it carefully for a while before patting his thigh. I really took my eyes off it. This is indeed purple lingji. Ocean, 2,000 yuan, uncle wants it. 2005. 2001. 2006. 2002. 2007. Xie Guangkun, why are you shouting higher and higher, kid? Faced with Su Haiyang's unconventional behavior, Xie Guangkun wanted to cry. Uncle, if you're not sincere about it, I'll just sell it in town. Su Haiyang laughed very heartily. 2005, 2005. Xie Guangkun looked at the purple lingji in his hand, gritted his teeth, and went all out. Okay. Hand in the money and hand in the delivery. Su Haiyang laughed like a fox. Big Foot Grocery Shop. I heard that Guangkun injured his foot yesterday when he went up the mountain, which is quite serious. Maybe he will become disabled. Wang Changgui held a cigarette in one hand and frowned, saying. Is it really fake? I was fine when I came to my place yesterday morning, why did I become disabled? Xie Dajiao was stunned for a moment, feeling a bit incredulous. Just heard what Xiangxiu said, saying it was to take Su Haiyang up the mountain to find Lingji and hurt her. Hey! I never expected that Guangkun was also a warm-hearted person. He sacrificed so much to help Su Haiyang. Wang Changgui has a long-term vision. Xie Guangkun is the father of the only college student in the village. In the face of the college student, should I award him a helpful award if this happens? Can Guangkun be so kind? Why do I feel so incredulous when I listen? Xie Dajiao chuckled. What are you two talking about? As soon as Liu Neng entered the grocery store, he saw Wang Changgui also present and leaned over to ask a question. He always thinks that the village head is too idle, and he goes to Dajiao grocery store all day long. In the future, when I become the village chief, I will do the same. Cough. I just received news that Guangkun has a foot disability to help Su Haiyang. Liu Neng, how can you handle this? Guangkun is disabled. Is it so serious? It's impossible. Liu Neng was so shocked that he didn't even stutter. Seeing that Liu Neng didn't believe it, Wang Changgui repeated his previous words. Why don't we go to Guangkun's house and take a look? Finally, Liu Neng suggested. He always thinks this matter is a bit mysterious. Yesterday when I saw Xie Guangkun back, I didn't realize how serious his foot injury was. Success. Go now. Wang Changgui extinguished his cigarette and stood up, saying. As the village chief, I have to take the lead at this time. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 7. Liu Neng. Listen to Ocean talk and send Guangkun away. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Uncle Guangkun, if there's nothing else, I'll leave first. Su Haiyang received the money and felt a lot of peace in his heart. He smiled and said goodbye to Xie Guangkun. Xie Guangkun felt heartbroken as he shook the stack of banknotes in his hand. Even a minute ago, these money were still my own. Hurry up. Before Xie Guangkun could utter his words, he heard the voice of village chief Wang Changgui coming from the door. He rolled his eyes and suddenly let out a sigh. Oh Ocean, my feet hurt a lot. Don't rush to walk. Uncle Guangkun, your foot injury is so serious, why don't I take you to the hospital for a check-up? Su Haiyang stuffed the money in his pocket and walked quickly to Xie Guangkun, looking concerned. Uncle, in order to save your foot, I have put in a lot of effort to help you break open the animal trap. My hands are still trembling. You must cherish your feet. Don't be reluctant to spend money, if you really become disabled, it will be over. You don't want to limp through the rest of your life, do you? Listen to my advice, let's go to the hospital. When Wang Changgui and Liu Neng entered the room, they heard Su Haiyang earnestly comforting Xie Guangkun, who was half lying on the Kong with a calm face. The ocean. The ocean kid usually hangs around. Just fooling around, Guan. He's quite reasonable when it comes to speaking in critical moments. Guang. Guangkun, listen to the ocean language. Let's go to the hospital. If we run out of money, we can earn more. If we're lame, we won't be saved. Liu Neng enjoys singing against Xie Guangkun the most on weekdays. Today, as he watched Xie Guangkun lying on the Kong with a heavy face, it was rare to persuade him. Wang Changgui nodded and said, Guangkun, let's go. Let's take you to the hospital together. Xie Guangkun, I really appreciate your whole family. Village Chief, Lao Lu, it's not that I don't want to go to the hospital, it's that I don't have the money now. Where's your money? Liu Neng asked subconsciously. Xie Guangkun's gaze flickered as he glanced at Su Haiyang without speaking. Uncle Guangkun, if you didn't have the money, tell me earlier. Then I'll sell the Lingji mushrooms in the town, otherwise your life-saving money will be gone. Upon seeing this, Su Haiyang's face changed and he took out the 25,000 he had just received from his pocket, intending to return it to Xie Guangkun. Xie Guangkun felt a thud in his heart and had a bad premonition. He was about to say something, but Su Haiyang spoke with a crackling sound, not giving him a chance to speak. Uncle Guangkun, I know you're kind-hearted. I know I'm penniless and my family doesn't even have any stuttering, so that's why I came up the mountain with you to find Lingji. I originally thought that if I found Lingji, I would split it with you in half, but you insisted that whoever found it was theirs and didn't want to take advantage. You kindly told me how to find Lingji, saying that Lingji loves the big sun the most. I followed your advice and really found Lingji. I was originally thinking of taking it to the town to sell, but you were afraid that I would be deceived and insisted on buying the Lingji at a high price. I am really grateful. But now that you have collected Lingji, you don't have the money to treat your feet. I can't just watch you become lame. Take this money back to treat your feet, Lingji. I'll exchange it for money from the town instead. After Su Haiyang finished speaking, Xie Guangkun fell silent. Su Haiyang's words have elevated him so much, and now no matter what he says, he has fallen behind. You can't slap yourself in front of a few people, can you? But Su Haiyang didn't seem to notice that Xie Guangkun's face had turned blue and purple. He looked at Wang Changgui again, looking ashamed. Village chief, I really didn't know that Uncle Guangkun's family was so poor, with only 2,500 yuan in property. I thought college students' households were at least worth 10,000 yuan. Upon hearing this, Wang Changgui looked at Xie Guangkun with a skeptical expression on his face. As the head of the village, he has a general understanding of the situation of each household in the village. As far as he knows, the conditions of Xie Guangkun's family are definitely good, and he is sure to be able to come up with a salary of 8,000 yuan. Why doesn't Xie Guangkun want to go to the hospital for foot treatment? On the side, Liu Neng was attracted by a stack of banknotes in Su Haiyang's hand. Can one Lingji be exchanged for 2,500 yuan? Is this really too profitable? No, we need to establish a good relationship with Guangkun. Next time, let him take him up the mountain to find Lingji. Guangkun, you don't have to worry about money. Brother, I'll lend you money. Let's go. To the hospital. Hurry up and cure my foot, so that you can take me up the mountain to find Lingji. Liu Neng didn't say the rest. Xie Guangkun looked at Liu Neng with such enthusiasm, tears streaming down his face. Are you trying to anger me one by one? Who wants to borrow money from you to go to the hospital? My feet don't need to go to the hospital to spend that unjustified money. My feet are fine, I'll just rest for 2 days. Well. That's not possible. We need to go to the hospital for examination. Unfortunately, no matter what Xie Guangkun said now, Liu Neng no longer believed it. Thinking that he really didn't have the money to treat his foot, he boldly took out 200 yuan and forced it into Xie Guangkun's hand. Only when Xie Guangkun takes his own money, can I use this favor to hold him in hand in the future. Let him take himself up the mountain to find Lingji. I am so smart. Let's. Brother, no, don't be seen outside. I'll lend you this money for now. No matter how hard Xie Guangkun struggled, they carried Xie Guangkun out of the door with Wang Changgui. Su Haiyang. Village chief, Uncle Liu, could you please take Uncle Guangkun to the hospital? Xie Guangkun. I am your ancestors today. Who will save me? I don't want to go to the hospital. P.S. New books are not easy, kneel down and seek a wave of free data. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 8. Do everyone want to eat Guangkun's banquet? Yutian brings the sea. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Liu Neng and Wang Changgui drove Xie Guangkun's donkey cart bumpily all the way to the town hospital. Su Haiyang, with both hands in his pockets, walked towards the Xie grocery store at the village entrance. At this moment, at the entrance of Xie grocery store, everyone looked at the donkey cart gradually moving away and discussed it one after another. Guangkun's face is so ugly, isn't it really disabled? It's probably quite serious. Otherwise, how could the village chief and Liu Neng personally take him to the hospital? That's right, Liu Neng has always been at odds with Guangkun. If it weren't for Guangkun, he wouldn't have been so enthusiastic. Well, that makes sense. Let's discuss with my head later and see if we can bring some gifts to Xie Guangkun. They are all from the same village, so we need to express ourselves, right? Right, Guangkun can't do it anymore. We need to go and take a look. Xie Dajiao listened to increasingly outrageous rumors and couldn't help but want to say, don't talk nonsense, Guangkun is just injured. Big feet, do you have any gift boxes suitable for exploring patients? They don't need to be too expensive, just the ones that look good. Yes, give me one too. Let's go see Guangkun together. He has raised a lot of chickens at home, and I can't believe he can even eat one. That's right, I'll go too. It's rare to have a feast at Guangkun's house. Xie Dajiao was stunned at the words. Xie Guangkun injured his foot, why are these people thinking about eating his banquet? Hey! Guangkun, I'm sorry. Making money is the most important. After swallowing the unfinished words, Xie Dajiao hurriedly prepared the gift box according to everyone's requirements. When Su Haiyang came, he saw a bustling crowd of people in the big foot grocery store. Everyone is rushing to buy things. TSK. The business of this grocery store is really thriving. Su Haiyang decided to wait for everyone to buy something before going in. So he sat at the entrance of the shop and started to daydream. Zhao Yutian received rumors that Xie Guangkun was not doing well. I heard that the village organized everyone to take a last look at Xie Guangkun, so he plans to come to the big foot grocery store to buy some gifts. When he hurried to the grocery store, he saw Su Haiyang sitting in a daze at the entrance. His eyes rolled, and Zhao Yutian smiled as he approached Su Haiyang. Hey, Ocean, why don't you buy something to see Uncle Guangkun? I heard he's not doing well, at least he can be considered an elder. It's also appropriate to go see him for the last time. Upon hearing this, Su Haiyang widened his eyes. He looked at Zhao Yutian with a shocked expression and said, what are you saying? Uncle Guangkun can't do it anymore. Yeah. It spread all over the village. Look, everyone is buying things and preparing to go see him. Zhao Yutian nodded confidently. Su Haiyang fell silent. Does this rumor seem too outrageous? Why should Xie Guangkun be okay? Seeing that Su Haiyang remained silent, Zhao Yutian continued, aren't you short of money? Hey, don't you think my brother won't help you? I have a 100% way to make money here. Are you interested? Su Haiyang looked up at Zhao Yutian with a puzzled expression on his face. Do you have 2 yuan? Su Haiyang nodded. That's it, let's go to town, I'll take you to make money. Su Haiyang. A poor guy from the neighboring town spent 2 yuan on a lottery ticket and won. Guess how much money he won? Su Haiyang shook his head. A whole 10,000 yuan. Zhao Yutian was excited at the thought of the scene and couldn't wait to pull Su Haiyang as he walked, saying, let's go buy lottery tickets together. We'll definitely win the big prize. After winning the prize, buy some gifts in town and go directly to the hospital to see Uncle Guangkun. Zhao Yutian pulled Su Haiyang onto his newly purchased tricycle. He had long wanted to buy lottery tickets, but his parents said buying lottery tickets is equivalent to gambling. If he dares to buy them, they will break his legs. Now with Su Haiyang as our companion, if our family finds out, it's said that Su Haiyang insisted on taking us there. Anyway, Su Haiyang is just a village wanderer, and his reputation is no longer important to him. Help yourself carry the blame, I still look up to him. In this way, Su Haiyang seemed to have not yet reacted, and he got into Zhao Yutian's car in a daze, following him to the town. At this moment, the system prompt sound rang out again in Su Haiyang's mind. Ding! Received Zhao Yutian's suggestion to purchase lottery tickets, rewards. Cash 100,000 yuan, memory +5, intelligence +5. Yutian, I haven't bought a lottery before, I don't know how to buy that thing. At the entrance of the welfare lottery store, Su Haiyang spoke up. It's okay, I haven't bought it either. Let's just go in and ask people. Zhao Yutian didn't want to turn back, and without hesitation, he pulled Su Haiyang into the store. How can I buy lottery tickets, boss? There is an introduction on the wall, read it for yourself. The boss was very busy, pointed to the sticker on the wall, and replied. Zhao Yutian was not troubled either and started researching with Su Haiyang. After about 10 minutes, the two finally understood. I plan to try using the whole family's birthday and buy a few more bets, I'm sure it will win. Zhao Yutian is full of confidence. His father gave him 50 yuan today to buy gifts, and all of it was used to buy lottery tickets, but he can buy 20.5 tickets. There is a great chance of winning by oneself. I only have 2 yuan, just randomly choose a bet. Su Haiyang took out 2 yuan from his pocket and handed it to the boss. The boss didn't hesitate and quickly handed back a lottery ticket with a printed number to Su Haiyang. Zhao Yutian also refused to be outdone and exchanged all his money for lottery tickets. Seeing that they had bought lottery tickets worth tens of yuan, the boss kindly reminded them that there were still 2 hours left until today's lottery draw. Zhao Yutian was very excited and didn't plan to go back. He stayed at the lottery store and waited for the results. Su Haiyang felt a bit bored, so he used the excuse of going to the town for a stroll and left the lottery store. P.S. Does nobody like it? The data is dismal. The author really doesn't want to be a eunuch. Kneeling down to beg for some small support from everyone, such as a flower, an evaluation ticket, a monthly pass. If you have any comments, please leave your footprints in the comment section. Rich people can give rewards freely and immediately add more rewards. Kneel down and thank you. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 9. Did the village wanderer become a hero? I feel unwilling in my heart. You are listening at novelfull.audio. On hot days, there's actually nothing to stroll around in town. Su Haiyang walked aimlessly for a while. Move away quickly. Suddenly, a burst of screams came from not far ahead. Su Haiyang squinted his eyes and saw a sturdy cow rushing around in all directions. The street ahead is already in chaos. Without much thought, Su Haiyang immediately prepared to take refuge in a nearby shop. At this moment, an old man walking not far from Su Haiyang may have been frightened and fell to the ground. Many evaders spoke loudly, "Old man, get up quickly, the cow is about to charge over." The old man also struggled up in panic, but the more he panicked, the more his legs and feet became disobedient. Wang Changgui sent Xie Guangkun to the hospital, and the follow-up matters were entrusted to Liu Neng. He planned to buy something to visit Mayor Qi and talk about promotion. Unexpectedly, I encountered a mad cow running wild. As the mad cow approached the fallen old man, everyone's hearts lifted. Wang Changgui's eyes suddenly lit up, and he saw a familiar figure. So he immediately spoke loudly. "Ocean, you're close. Hurry up and help that old man, right? Young people run fast, I believe you can definitely save the old man." Su Haiyang glanced deeply at Wang Changgui, who was hiding in the shop. Then, amidst the shocked gazes of the crowd, he turned around and ran quickly towards the old man. He was indeed very fast, but in just a few breaths, he ran up to the old man. The crazy cow with crazy hair also rushed towards this side, piercing two people with big horns. Everyone watched helplessly as the ox horn was about to stab the two of them, thinking about the bloody scene that followed, and instinctively exclaimed. Some timid people even closed their eyes and dared not continue to look. Time seemed to have come to a standstill, as if it had passed for a long time, and as if in the blink of an eye, someone spoke again. Wow, that young man has such great strength that he managed to control that crazy cow. I don't know who shouted, but the stunned crowd finally came to their senses. I saw the mad cow stop less than 1 meter away from the old man. Su Haiyang's hands were tightly grasping the two horns of the mad cow. No matter how hard the mad cow struggled, it couldn't break free. Oh my, thank you so much, little brother. Otherwise, I would have caused a big trouble today. A slightly chubby middle-aged man ran over in sweat, followed by several panting men. When I saw Su Haiyang, I thanked him in a burst. Turns out this mad cow ran out of the nearby town slaughterhouse. Handing the cow over to the slaughterhouse, Su Haiyang clapped his hands and helped the old man who was still sitting on the ground in shock up from the ground. The old man's grip on Su Haiyang's hand was a gesture of gratitude. Young man, what's your name? Which village is it from? You saved the old man's life, and I want my son to thank you well. Old man, you're welcome. It's a simple matter, as long as you're okay. I'll leave first. Su Haiyang waved his hand and smiled. Accustomed to being a village wanderer, some are not accustomed to being thanked like heroes. Oh, old man, my leg seems to have twisted. Young man, could you please take me home? Seeing the benefactor about to leave, the old man suddenly changed his face and pretended to be in pain. Su Haiyang, old man, isn't your acting too clumsy? Old man, why don't I take you home? I'm the village chief of Xiangya Mountain village. Wang Changgui suddenly walked over and suggested gently. No. The old man opened his mouth and wanted to refuse. Old man, this is the village chief of our village. He's so kind, let him take you back. I really have an urgent matter here, and I'll visit your house again if I have the chance in the future. Su Haiyang saw Wang Changgui take the initiative and quickly handed over the old man to him, then left immediately. He really has an urgent matter. Urgent to receive freshly baked rewards. Previously, when Wang Changgui spoke up, he triggered a system task. After Su Haiyang successfully saved the old man, the system reward was immediately distributed. Congratulations to the host, following Wang Changgui's advice. Subdue the mad cow, save the old man, reward luck +3, and intelligence +5, Pai Li Pa. Just as Su Haiyang received the freshly baked reward, the deafening sound of firecrackers came from Jinshi. Who is so bold in handling wedding events? After digging out his ears, Su Haiyang muttered a few words and walked towards the west of the town. The lottery shop is in Jinshi, he needs to go find Zhao Yutian. At this moment, Zhao Yutian was excitedly looking at the lottery number. Because just now, the owner of the lottery store said that the winning number for this lottery issue came from his own lottery store. And in order to attract more people to buy lottery tickets in the store, the lottery shop owner immediately went to the neighboring fireworks and firecrackers store to buy a string of the largest and loudest firecrackers to set off as soon as he heard the news. Zhao Yutian felt that he had bought 25 bets and had a great chance of winning. After repeated confirmation, his excited heart became chilly. It's over. 50 yuan has gone to waste. No way. We need to find a way to buy a few more lottery tickets. I'm sure I'll win the prize next time. Zhao Yutian, who felt unwilling, suddenly had a flash of inspiration. His father-in-law Liu Neng should be at the town hospital now. Why don't you borrow a few tens of yuan from him to buy lottery tickets? Thinking of this, Zhao Yutian hurriedly left the lottery shop, forgetting to wait for Su Haiyang to come. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 10. Guangkun returns to the village, everyone cries and mourning. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. When Su Haiyang returned to the lottery store, he saw a red patch of firecrackers on the ground outside the store. And the lottery store is even more bustling. Young man, are you also here to celebrate? A middle-aged man next to him saw Su Haiyang standing at the entrance of the store as if he wanted to enter, so he took the initiative to strike up a conversation. Su Haiyang shook his head in confusion, not knowing why. Don't you know yet? This lottery store just opened a big prize. The prize money is a whopping 1 million. Did you see those people inside? They all came to inquire about the news after hearing the wind. Everyone thinks this store has good feng shui and is rushing to buy lottery tickets here. Speaking of which, I have never seen anyone really win the jackpot. I didn't expect to gain insight this time. I don't know who has such good luck. The man spoke fluently and his tone was full of envy. It's not surprising that he's excited. In this year with an average monthly income of 300 to 500 yuan, 1 million yuan is really a huge sum for ordinary people. After hearing this, Su Haiyang's heart moved and he asked calmly, do you know what the winning number is? Of course I know. I recorded the number as soon as it came out, but unfortunately, I didn't win any of the lottery tickets I bought. The man took out a lottery ticket from his pocket and handed it to Su Haiyang, pointing to a string of numbers written with a pen and saying, this is the winning number. Su Haiyang took a quick glance. With a clear understanding in mind. So that lucky one is myself. In order to confirm whether he really won the lottery, Su Haiyang still squeezed into the lottery store. Quickly, he confirmed that he had truly won the prize. Su Haiyang remained silent, suppressing his excitement and silently left the lottery store. Zhao Yutian doesn't know where he went either. After some thought, Su Haiyang decided to take a car directly to the city. He knew that big prizes like this couldn't be exchanged at the lottery shops in town, so he had to go to the lottery center in the city to exchange them. Zhao Yutian went to the hospital, but couldn't find Liu Neng. Even Xie Guangkun, who is rumored to be on the verge of collapse, has not been found. I could only return to the village dejected. As soon as he arrived home, he was summoned by his father Zhao Si. What about the things you were asked to buy? Zhao Yutian, are you itching, kid? Did you run around with my money again and spend it recklessly? Zhao Si is also a hot-tempered person. Seeing Zhao Yutian's guilty expression, he picked up a stick and threatened to hit him. Zhao Yutian was frightened and ran around with his head in his arms. Do you dare to run? Don't think I don't know, you've been fooling around with Su Haiyang's village again, right? Zhao Si became even more angry when he saw Zhao Yutian still daring to run, and his stick swung faster. Dad, I was wrong. It was Su Haiyang who encouraged me to use money to buy lottery tickets. I was tempted for a moment, so. Seeing that he couldn't avoid it, Zhao Yutian simply confessed. Zhao Si looked at his cowardly son and threw the stick, ready to find trouble with Su Haiyang. Dad, I forgot about Su Haiyang in town and he hasn't come back yet. Zhao Yutian saw the situation and whispered a reminder. In fact, when Zhao Yutian came out of the hospital to find someone, he remembered Su Haiyang. However, considering that he had lost dozens of yuan today, he deliberately did not turn back to pick him up. The only 2 yuan that the poor guy had bought a lottery ticket, he must have walked back to the village today. Zhao Yutian, who had been beaten up, thought inwardly. He never even thought that Su Haiyang would win the big prize. He didn't know that Su Haiyang had more than $2 on him. Xie Guangkun was pulled back to Xiangya Mountain by Liu Neng using a donkey cart. Due to spending an unjustified amount of money to go to the hospital, coupled with the severe pain in his feet due to bumping all the way, Xie Guangkun was in a very bad mood and lay on the cart without saying a word. Liu Neng knew that he had done something bad with good intentions, and he also hoped that Xie Guangkun would take him up the mountain to find Lingji. Along the way, he was very kind to Xie Guangkun. Guangkun is back. At the entrance of the village, someone discovered the trail of the donkey cart and immediately reported it to the public. Quickly, villagers carrying various gifts gathered around Xie Guangkun's donkey cart. Guangkun, everyone is coming to see you. Someone took the lead in saying something. It seems that in order to prove the deep sorrow in my heart, there is a faint hint of crying. Guangkun, why are you so unlucky? I see a good day coming soon. Yeah, Yongqiang hasn't come back yet. You have to persist for another 2 days. At least we should see Yongqiang for the last time. At first, Xie Guangkun saw the villagers so enthusiastic and knew that his foot was injured. They all came to care for him, and his mood changed from depressed to proud. But as he listened, he felt something was wrong. Why do these people look so mournful? What are you talking about one by one? I'm fine, why do I have to see Yongqiang for the last time? Xie Guangkun struggled for a while before sitting up and asked coldly at the villagers. Liu Neng fell off the chain again at a critical moment, so anxious that he couldn't hold back a word and could only wave his hand repeatedly. Misunderstanding. It's all a misunderstanding. Cough. Big guy, let Guangkun go home first. Someone understood Liu Neng's meaning and spoke up to dissuade the enthusiastic villagers. Liu Neng quickly drove the donkey cart and whipped Xie Guangkun away. He was afraid of staying again, and Xie Guangkun was really infuriated. Ah! Guangkun is also pitiful. He is so sick that even the hospital doesn't accept him. He was sent back so quickly. As soon as Liu Neng drove away, the person spoke again. That's right, Liu Neng didn't let us talk too much just now. He must be trying to hide it from Guangkun and let him walk more peacefully. Yeah. Guangkun definitely doesn't know if he's going to die yet. We can't stimulate him anymore. How could he have to see Yongqiang for the last time before leaving? Big guy, every word you say makes me feel sorry for Xie Guangkun. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th.